Hey, it's Bitty Penny. Welcome to my channel. I hope you're doing awesome. Today it's time for Oh So Inspired, which is a collaboration hosted by Call Me Crafty Owl. There's a playlist and links down below in the description box, and I hope you will check it all out. I'm using my November 2024 Kit of the Month from Unity Stamp Co. You know I am. And then I am casing Stampin' Heidi. We all are. This is her beautiful card, which I absolutely adored. Love the colors, just love everything about it. And I am going to work with a totally different color palette, a different theme to extent. I mean, I have foliage in my card, but I am casing it, I feel like, really closely. I just thought it was a great design. I love how she made her own patterned paper with her stamps and then brought some of that same pattern into her focal point. I just really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the layout, so I'm casing it. And I'm making a 5x7 card. So I cut my green mat to 5x7. It's going to cover my entire card front. I cut this other mat to 4.5 by 6.5. And I'm going to get to stamping. I think Kmato, hey Kristen, she asked what craft cardstock I like this week, and I gave a really long answer, probably longer than what she wanted. But I use just basically anything to get my hands on. I really like the stuff from Hobby Lobby. I really like the stuff from Michael's. I'm not a snob. I don't care. I like getting mine in bulk a lot of the times because I make such a prolific amount of cards. But I think this one might be like sand or something like that from Simon Says Stamp, which is also beautiful. I just tend to buy my cardstock in bulk at like 50 sheets at a time instead of 10 sheets. But I totally respect and get color coordinating inks and papers and all of those things. So, that's my answer. Thought I would share it with everyone. We'd all come around the craft table and get the answer. And I am just sitting here stamping out these stamps, which, again, this is kind of similar to Heidi's, where I have a stamp that doesn't have to be colored. It's just a solid stamp that I can stamp out. I don't have to color anything. And stamps like this are just perfect when you want to make your own patterned paper. You can stamp stamps that you want to color. You'll just have to color your whole background, which is not a bad thing, unless you don't like coloring, and then you might not enjoy it. But having a solid stamp is great when you want to make a quick and easy patterned paper for yourself. So I used like the pine needles and the pine cones, and then I had to use this bird. I fell in love with this bird as soon as I saw it. I am the type of person that by about November 5th, I had gone on to Unity Stamp to see what kind of stamps were coming in my kit, and I got so excited when I saw that bird, so I just had to use it. And these tags were in the kit as well this month, and I'm going to use one of those along with a sentiment and stamp that onto this little Christmas tree tag. You can tell I also used my scrap piece of paper and stamped up a few more of those pine cones, 2 large, 1 small. And I left it in, even though I'm not technically using these on my card today. But I did leave it in to give you an idea. So if you get this kit of the month, or if you have stamps like this, I like the way the stamps are designed. But if you wanted to color them in a little more, you can, and fill them out, which is what I thought I will leave in and show. Essentially what I was doing was making myself some additional ephemera that I could layer on here if I wanted to. To be honest, I played with this bird a few times before I settled on the white background. I did color it up and was thinking of using like a full color piece. But as I left the room and came back to my desk, I realized I didn't like that. I really liked it on the white, and I liked it just real simple. So once I gave my ink some time to dry on this tag, I brought in my green Distress ink brush and I inked that little tree up green. And then I did fussy cut this out because at this point I'm still thinking this might go on my card. But it didn't. And that's okay. Pieces like this, I just store right back with the stamp set. And the next time I go back to use that stamp set, I'll have a few little pieces that I can incorporate and use if I want. So nothing's wasted. It's no loss by experimenting and playing in that way. So I did decide, although I was going to keep the white background, just as white as snow, then I would go ahead and color up the bird. And I did just a very soft coloring here with my Prisma colored pencils. And yeah, I did just a very soft, very light coloring, a little darker on the underbelly there, but real simple coloring. I had used my Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and so I was able to color with my watercolor. Those are not watercolors, my alcohol markers as well. And I just really wanted maroon on this card. I thought it was the perfect pop of color for this card. So I used that and colored up the beak and the feet, and that's pretty much it, you guys. I keep it real simple when it comes to coloring these days. So that's what I did there. And then I'm going to tie my tree on, which this is kind of funny, and I left it in. I tried to leave in as much as I could and yet keep this video short for you today. But I was in the process of putting this tree on the front of my card with a ribbon. And I did struggle a little bit with that ribbon. And so I'm going to put it across the card and tape it on the back. And then I'm going to realize, oh my gosh, I meant to put a blizzard on this card. I want to put white splatter on here. So I'm going to take it all apart again. You could always cover up the bird and you could cover up the tree and just splatter around it. But oh my gosh, no, I'm just taking this off and I'm now going to splatter. So I used acrylic paint today. I use all different kinds of things. It really just depends on what's within reach, to be honest. And this was a metallic white pearl, and I love the way it looks. The pearlescence really does show, and I love it. I'm gonna have to use white pearl for my snow more often. I use a long bristle brush for splatter. I just find that it works really well. And I did water down my acrylic paint just a little bit with water, a couple of spritzes from my Tim Holtz bottle, because, they can get kind of thick as they sit. So, but there we go. Magnificence. Now my background is ready. And I did decide in that time that I'd put a little bough of evergreen there. And now I'm ready to reattach this to the front of the card. I'm so glad that, I made the adjustment and I left that in because, sometimes you might think, well, I'll just splatter the next one. But I would just encourage you to take the few extra steps to see your vision through, because it made me so much happier seeing that splatter on there. And for me, it made the pattern complete. And a lot of times when I'm deciding, what am I going to add to this? How much more further do I need to go? There's a sense to me of completion with cards that I get. And I'm going to exemplify that a little more here with you in just a minute after I pop these both up with foam tape. And the way I'm going to exemplify it for you next is I know that the white kind of stands out like a sore thumb, but not if I just put the craft on the green, it just doesn't feel as complete as if I put a layer, a white matte layer. And to me, that ties in the white circle. It brings everything together And for me and my brain, it makes sense. And now the card really feels cohesive. So sometime, you might think about that. I used a thinner white paper because I knew I've got layers upon layers and I still have to put this on a card base. So, I didn't use like really thick paper for that. I used a lighter cardstock that I don't love. So it's great for things like this. And now, I'm able to glue everything down onto my card front. And I just think it all came together. That one white mat, these little decisions that we make can really make or break our cards, I feel like. Not that any of the decisions I made, if I hadn't gone that extra step, wouldn't have worked. But I think it came together better because I made those little decisions like the splatter and the white mat. I hope you enjoyed the card today. I just think that bird is so precious. I cannot wait to see what the collaboration team has done. Thank you so much for watching my video. Make sure to go watch that playlist, and I will see you here next time. All right, have a wonderful day. Bye.